I'm Gareth.
And I'm Taylor from Haven Property.
And we're back with the market update for Q2 2026.
Let's get into it.
Since our last quarterly update, the vibe in the market has definitely changed. We have seen a trend pushing towards a more balanced market where listings and days on market have increased and buyer activity and engagement have decreased. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Things are just starting to settle down. In the last quarter, days on market has increased on average from 9 to 16, and we're currently sitting with around 6,500 listings in the whole of the Perth metro area, up from around 3,500, with sales transactions of around 800 to 900 per week, now recording around 600 to 700 per week. Now let's look at our core areas of Scarborough, Doubleview and Innaloo. Scarborough has a total of around 11,000 properties with less than 100 properties for sale over all price points. Doubleview has around 4,000 properties with only around 25 listings, and in Innaloo around 5,500 properties with only 40 properties for sale. That's less than 1% available at any one time, proving that overall listings are generally still low.
Buyer confidence and activity is the biggest change that we have seen in the last 3 months. The same amount of new listings coming on the market from week to week hasn't changed. It's just buyer activity has slowed, which means the amount of listings and days on market has increased steadily. This is not a bad thing moving forward, as the speed and the pace that the market has been operating in recent years has been exhausting for a lot of buyers and sellers. Buyers are being more measured and patient in making decisions, whereas before, the best word that we could describe activity as was frenzied buying. The main reasons being, since the first quarter of 2026, there have been multiple interest rate rises, continued increase in cost of living, especially petrol prices and groceries, and then we had uncertainty following the federal budget announcement.
Confidence. In our experience, Perth buyers can be quite reactive with announcements like federal budgets and elections, and they tend to sit on their hands for a while and take a breather to see what's going to change. The reality is these proposed changes won't affect most buyers and sellers, and the only change they need to really consider is the change that is happening in their own lives and why they were thinking of buying or selling in the first place.
Healthy. We have to keep in mind that the market we have been experiencing in Perth for the last 5 to 6 years has been abnormal, and things are finally settling down. We are starting to see opportunities for people to move around that have previously been limited. It means if you've been considering selling and buying in the same market but have felt restricted, now might be the time to rethink what that means for you. For buyers, it means more choice and less competition, and more importantly, it gives you extra time to make a decision. However, don't read into the media hype of a buyer's market. With listings still below what is considered a balanced market, properties are still selling in a reasonable amount of time. For sellers, it means managing your price expectations and time frame you may be on the market. It also means preparation and presentation of your property when selling is key to maximize the result and minimize your days on market.
Speaking to an experienced agent who has seen different market conditions over their career is the best advice I can give. They can advise you the best strategy for your campaign and what you can expect in changing market conditions. If you had an appraisal 3 to 6 months ago or longer and are still thinking your property is worth around the same amount of money, get an update and make sure you're provided with the most recent evidence for comparable sales in your area similar to your property. Moving through the rest of winter and into early spring, I expect we will see steady buyer activity and slightly less seller activity. Traditionally, most sellers will wait until the warmer weather returns in late September, early October, hoping to make a move before Christmas, and I think the buyer confidence will return over the next couple of months. What we have to remember is when you break down the basics of a real estate market, it's about supply and demand. Constraints still on building and construction, limiting new supply, and our current population numbers will continue to keep demand healthy. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gareth Drummond.
And I'm Taylor Hanna, and we'll be back with another update next quarter.